Hey guys, it's Brian from Arrowhead Garage, and today we're not in the garage. We are on the couch in the den uh, because I fell a couple of weeks ago, broke my ankle in 3 different spots, had to have surgery about a week ago, and Doc says he's looking at 10 to 16 weeks of off my feet, can't do anything, can't work, can't do anything, absolutely no wrenching. All I can do is sit and heal. And there's just no way that Brian can sit and do nothing. So Maggie and I had a brilliant idea yesterday um, to go back and review or rewatch the videos that we made going to pick up and restoring my brother's 1967 Pontiac Firebird 400. And basically to go back through and say, yeah, I should have did this differently. I should have did that better. I should have did this first. Kind of go through it and give you guys an idea of what I wish I would have known then. What I know now, wish I would have known then, and kind of help you guys how to restore a car when you don't know what you're doing. Because I never restored an American car. I restored probably a dozen classic Porsches, air-cooled Porsches over the years, but never an American car, and had no concept of how these cars were put together and everything else back in the day. 1960s Porsche, 70s Porsche, absolutely. 80s Porsche, I'm your guy. I can help you fix that thing up, no problem. Firebirds, Camaros, F-Gen, GM cars, whatever, completely clueless. But along the way, I met guys like John or at Vinyl Village Garage, who helped me tremendously. You'll see that video coming up as well. Louis over at First Generation Garage, that guy, amazing. Link down below if you've never seen him. And also Mikey over at Lake and Lodge, he restored a 67 convertible Firebird. Those guys were tremendous helps, plus so many other guys who, when they found out about this project, either knowledge or, hey, somewhere in my attic, I have a blah, blah, blah. You're missing it. I can see in your video. So sit back, grab yourself a soda or something, a beverage of your choice, and you and I and Maggie are going to rewatch the series on taking this car, picking it up, fixing it up, pointing out what I did right, pointing out what I did wrong, saying what I should have known then, which I know now I should have did differently. And that way maybe you can learn something too, and on restoring a classic car of your own. So with that, Maggie's already tired. She's like, Dad, this is hard work. So at that, if this is your first time here, make sure that subscribe button. There's a ton of videos, the entire 180, I think 160 videos on restoring this Firebird. There's a link down below to that playlist. You can go and binge watch all that. Or you can hang out with me over the next 10 weeks because Doc says I'm off my feet for the next 10 weeks. There's a metal plate in there. There's screws in there. I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting on the couch. We're going to watch those episodes. And we're going to watch those episodes. And I'm going to point out the things I did right, the things I did wrong, things I wish I would have done right the first time that now I have to completely do over again. But you are going to see all of that. So with that, Maggie and I, I'll shut up. Maggie will just do what Maggie's doing. Let's get into the very first episode where I pick up the Firebird from Oklahoma and drag it all the way back. And that in and of itself is an episode of tremendous proportion, if you know what I mean. So with that, let's watch today's video. All right, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, Arizona time, and my buddy Ben and I are getting ready to jump in the truck and go pick up an old 1960s P car. What kind of P car are we gonna get? Comment down below. All right, so here is where my buddy Ben and I load up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's in September of 2020. My brother passed away in November of 19. So it took a little while for the family to kind of go, what are we going to do with this car? Took my 2008 Nissan Titan V8. We rented a trailer from U-Haul because it was $168 if we picked the trailer up in Phoenix, drove it all the way to Oklahoma, loaded the car, and drove all the way back, $168. But if we picked the trailer up in Oklahoma and drove it from Oklahoma to Arizona, it was like $500. So we decided, go ahead and load it up here, save that money. It didn't really cost anything more in gas to get there. It was a light trailer, so that's kind of what we did.
I don't have a lot of information on this. All I know is the stories I've heard in the family. Apparently, he bought it in 1979 from a guy from Luke Air Force Base down in Glendale, Arizona. Drove it around, and it was a daily driver, and took it with him when he moved to Oklahoma sometime in those early 80s. Apparently, I even got a ride in it in the back seat and the front seat a few times when he would take me places. So it has a lot of family involvement or history to it. Lots of memories about this car. So really honored that his family would come to me and ask if I would take it on and fix it up and restore it back to the glory days of what it was. So this is going to be one of those projects that is very heartfelt. I'm going to do it to pay tribute to my brother Keith and to his family, and for all of us that's in our family. So let's see if we can't get this car loaded up onto a trailer. It has 4 flat tires, and we could not find tires for it. 14-inch rim. So let's see if we can't get this car up and on the trailer and heading back to Phoenix.
All right, so this is how I found the car. This is the way this car has been sitting probably since the mid-90s. It did have a black vinyl top on it, which, as you can see, Oklahoma Weathers, 25 of them, did their damage with Swiss cheese on that metal. Jason, the gentleman in the red shirt right in front of us, rest in peace, man. He helped us tremendously get this car up and running. First thing we want to do is inspect the car. I had this goal that we were going to roll in. We were going to do a vice grip garage derrick type thing, throw some fuel down the fuel, making it happener, and fire it up, and at least drive it onto the trailer. But as we started to learn, that's not the way things went down. Engine moved free, so that was a bonus. But then we noticed that the distributor was missing its distributor cap. And we had 4 flat tires, and there was nowhere in this little town in Oklahoma that we were going to find 4 14-inch used tires or new tires in order to just get it. So we had 4 flat tires to deal with. Then the steering box was locked up. I mean, locked up. There was no way of turning those wheels. It was tight as tight. So we had to make a decision. We were burning daylight. We needed to get this car up onto that trailer and back home so we could return the trailer come Monday morning. This was a Saturday, afternoon, I guess. You can see lots of parts missing off the car when I picked it up. Luckily, most of the parts were either in the car or inside the house in the attic where my brother had put them. But at this point, we knew we needed to be able to move those tires in order to get this car up onto the trailer. And the only way that was going to happen was to basically pull the tie rod ends to where that way we could manually move those tires to get them lined up to where we can then get them onto the trailer in order to get home. And again, 4 flat tires, so it wasn't going to be an easy roller, and no winch. So tip number 1, bring a winch or rent a trailer. That's probably what we should have done, was rented a trailer with a winch on it. But it's an original 400 car, an original TH400 transmission. As you can see, we're kind of going through it. We'd already given up hope of driving it. Now we want to see if we can move those wheels. And one of the cool things is the internet. Even in 2020, Facebook groups, the first generation Firebird group, I was posting questions about, does this thing have a steering lock on it, that I need to undo first? We didn't have keys for it at first. We finally found the keys for it. But later you'll find out that this is not even a Pontiac motor. It was a Chevy 350 with a Chevy TH350 that was thrown into the car at some point in time. So it was a mess to begin with, and an original AC 67 car. But when my brother was doing the work, apparently the transmission was next on the list because there was no shifter. Nowhere. Never did find a shifter mechanism anywhere in the parts. So there was no shifter. So this thing was not going anywhere to begin with.
Locked up right here. It'll turn up to the knuckle right there and then stops. Won't steer. So we're trying to take that cap off and see what it looks like up inside of that.
tire unless it doesn't lock the steering wheel on it.
See? It's almost like that box is locked up, seized up, rusted up. Now, this is the inside of the car. And again, those windows were shot out by a bunch of snot-nosed punk kids. But look at this roof. That is what that vinyl roof did to the metal. It ate right through it. And as you can see, dirt everywhere, thrown together, just parts everywhere. Had the center console, but no way we were driving or shifting this thing. So here we go. There's Amber. That is his daughter. We decided to go ahead and just pull those tie rod ends.
And then this, I'm working, and the sound goes off. Well, apparently every day at noon, they blare this alarm out just to blare it out in Oklahoma.
We got to the point where it was time, so we went ahead and backed up the truck and the trailer to the car. Thought we could get it underneath there, and maybe with a come along that we had brought from Harbor Freight, we could pull this off.
So since we had all 4 tires were completely dry rotted, would not hold air, could not find some spare tires to use it for, we decided to back the trailer up and jack up the car and just kind of slide the car under or on top of the trailer as much as we possibly could. So raise it up, back it up, slip it on there, coming along, see if we can't get this thing up and on this trailer.
I'm gonna make a drink. This is getting exciting.
So this is some oaky redneck thinking. We needed to get it up high enough, and we didn't have jack stands that would raise it that high. So there was this spare steel wheel, and my brother's neighbor was like, "Oh yeah, we got this." So he rolled this thing under the Firebird to give us a little bit of room that we needed, because those jacks just weren't tall enough so we could get that thing underneath there. That's as high as that'll go. All right.
We need a good smoke.
I still don't think I quite understand why we did this, but we did. Now as James oversees us, Jason and myself begin to come along this Firebird up on the trailer, inch by inch by inch by inch. Oh my goodness, 4 flat tires. We tried putting WD-40 on the ramps just to get the rubber tires to somehow slide up the trailer better. It was a fiasco.
Okay, there goes.
Just kept ratcheting and ratcheting and ratcheting.
And then here we decided to push and have Jason back the trailer up even more, because we were dying trying to come along this car up on the trailer.
Hey, if anything, once we stroke out here, we'll block the back tires and then rehook.
Okay.
True.
Ben's a beer drinking fool.
So eventually it was getting dark, but we were able to get the car securely onto the trailer, and we started trucking back home to Arizona, because again, this is now late Saturday afternoon, and it's a 12-hour drive from Oklahoma to my place in Arizona. So we had to hammer it down and get back to Arizona quick.
We blew a tire. Damn it. But it wasn't just a blown tire. We'd actually burned up a wheel bearing, which once we stopped, my buddy Ben looked back in the rearview mirror and he was like, crap, the tire's on fire. Needless to say, we called 911 and the police and fire trucks are on their way. We took water and some beer and stuff that we had with us. We tried pouring it on the wheel bearing to kind of cool it off.
And this is where Ben decided that we were out of water. He was just going to whip out the snake and pee on the tire. And I did get that on film, but I've since lost that video. But I'll let you use your imaginations here.
The fire out, we went ahead and made a phone call to U-Haul to see what they could do to help us out. And about that time is when the fire truck showed up to help us out. And so they stopped, and fire was already out, but it was kind of cool to talk about the car a little bit with the guys. And to wait now, we're just waiting on the tow truck from U-Haul to come get us. First of all, U-Haul took care of most everything for us. We really liked it. Action Towing out of Globe, Arizona came to get us. We wound up putting the car and trailer onto his truck, and then we followed him to my house in our truck. So it's actually turned out to kind of be a blessing in disguise that this all happened. You can kind of see the wheel color damage there from that wheel bearing catching on fire. So we simply followed our car the next 100 miles back down to the valley along Highway 60, and it was a different view for the last 700 miles. We saw the Firebird in our rearview mirror, and now we got to see the Firebird in front of us for 100 miles or so. This is the Queen Creek Tunnel, built in 1952. Gotta honk of horns, don't we? So this was the best part, is this awesome tow truck driver named Johnny from Action Towing. We were like, we're gonna have a hard time getting this Firebird off the U-Haul because it has 4 flat tires, and the wheels won't move unless we move them by hand, so they were going wonky everywhere when we tried to pull it up. He was cool enough to take the car off the U-Haul trailer, put it back onto his truck, and then back his truck up into the driveway and pop the Firebird right in the garage. It saved us hours of having to jack up this car, find 4 tires in Phoenix, put them on, come along and off the trailer, and then have a bunch of guys push this thing while somebody turned the wheels to get it into the driveway and in the garage. It was a blessing in disguise to have Johnny from Action Towing just put it right where we needed it and shake hands and call it a day. Alright guys, the Firebird is in my garage, and we now start the journey to revive this bird and bring it out of the ash.
Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this video. Looking back on that very first video of picking up the Firebird in Oklahoma, bringing it back to Arizona. And what an adventure. That should have told me right then and there what kind of restoration project that Firebird was going to be. And it was not going to be a one-year thing. That was my goal, was 1 year to completely redo that car and get it working and driving and running. Maybe not so much painted, but at least running and driving like I wanted to enjoy it a little bit. So with that, well, 6 years later, and here we are going back and doing this. So hope you like this. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're a regular subscriber to Arrowhead Garage, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think of that very first video that we did. If you've never seen it before, tell me what you thought of it. If you've seen it before and you've been with me this entire journey the last 6 or so years, make a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts on that was. And tell me if you like this idea of kind of watching the videos back over again and pointing out things that maybe I didn't say in the video the first time. Ben peeing on the tire when it caught on fire, didn't show that. Little stuff like that that hopefully you guys enjoyed, kind of the behind the scenes look, and things I should have done, shouldn't have done, like brought a winch, to pull that car. That would have been so much easier. We would have been on the road so much quicker. So with that, I hope you like the concept of this idea I have. Well, I'm laid up for the next 10, 12, 16 weeks, who knows. Go back, watch these videos, point out things that I should have done. So with that, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up. If you're a first time watching this because of the title kind of got your attention, hit that subscribe button, follow along, maybe go back and binge watch all the original videos. I think you'll like it. So until the next video, guys, make sure to be on the lookout for that. We'll see you then. Have a good one.